Onto your markets now. Positive tech earnings out of the United States are said to have driven Asian markets higher, although China and Hong Kong were still out for the Lunar New Year holiday. The Nikkei share average ended the session up 0.15%. US markets ended higher, albeit following a volatile session. This as investors weigh differing earnings reports and despite the Fed's decision to leave policy rates unchanged. On the tech front, Meta gained 1.6% as it exceeded market expectations in terms of its earnings report and also announcing a bold investment in open source AI. Tesla also rose by 2.9%. However, Microsoft declined by more than 6% after it issued a disappointing revenue forecast to the market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose by 0.4%. The S&P 500 ended the session up just over 0.5%, while the Nasdaq Composite Index gained 0.64%. Right, the all-share index is currently trading in positive territory. It's up at 0.1% at 85,746 index points. The rand is trading at 18.61 against the US dollar, 19.33 vis-a-vis the euro, and 23.14 against the British pound. Gold is trading at $2,794 an ounce, platinum at $974 an ounce, while Brent crude oil is trading at $75.53 a barrel. All right, for more on the markets and to unpack them for us, I'm joined by Zwelakhe Mnguni. He's the CIO, that is the Chief Investment Officer at Benguela Global Fund Managers. Thank you very much, Zwelakhe, for joining us. So despite the US Fed Reserve keeping rates unchanged and the US GDP coming in below expectations, but still at an impressive 2.3% for the fourth quarter, US markets continued their upward trend. What's your reading of things there?
Look, I'd probably say the U.S. economy remains resilient. It's positive that they're still about 2% of growth currently. I think if one looks at the expectation of 0.6, but I think 2.3 is not nothing to scoff at. I do think that if one looks at the rest of the market, I mean, the numbers, the earnings numbers that are coming through have been quite decent. So I think it was relatively positive to see that the momentum continues on the earnings side.
So here at home, the Reserve Bank cut rates by 25 basis points. The governor is happy with inflation levels in the short term, but reckons that by the second half of the year, we'll see that ticking up due to external pressures. And of course, that will involve the US President Donald Trump's stance in terms of tariffs on countries, which has yet to be clarified. To what extent have you seen this move the rand?
Look, the rand weakened by about 10-11 cents after the announcement. I think the big thing is that if one looks at the differential now at a policy rate level, I mean, we are sitting at about 3% SA versus the US. The historic average was around 4%. So if you take the last 10 years, so I think it is something that is that could help in terms of the US dollar would probably remain relatively strong and push through until we know what the tariffs would do.
So there's an OPEC Plus meeting scheduled to take place, and we know this comes in the context of Donald Trump demanding that oil-producing nations do something to bring down the price of crude oil, which essentially means that they need to produce more oil. What do you expect them to do, and how do you see the market fundamentals currently?
I would probably say that, I mean, the OPEC, it's in their best interest to keep the oil price as high as possible. On the other side, I mean, there is a relationship that they have with the US that they want to preserve. But I think in the long term, I mean, the price of oil could be under pressure as the US intends to drill more to produce more oil on their own side. And that would probably put a bit of pressure. So I expect that OPEC would not move on their production at the moment. I don't think they'll cut. I think.
Right, that transmission wasn't so great with Zwelakhe, but that was Zwelakhe Mnguni. He's the Chief Investment Officer at the Benguela Global Fund Managers. We're going to take a quick break.